Alright, skipping the intro, going straight right into it. What is popping, everybody? It is officially the offseason, the combine is starting. I think it's about time I officially drop my mock draft video. It's been like 2-3 weeks since I've asked if y'all wanted to see it, and I have failed to deliver since, and I do apologize. So that's why we're not going to spare any time. We're just going to go straight right into the video. Once again, quick disclaimer before we do start. I am not a professional. I do not do this professionally. This is just meant to be a fun video on what I would do if I was this team. And all footage used in the video will be credited on the screen. Alright, let's get into the mock draft. The first pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, Tennessee Titans select Cam Ward. Okay, this pick is going to age like fine-ass wine. I'm talking some of the finest wine you can imagine. I mean, Ward already saying, any team to pass on me is making a giant mistake. Look, I love confidence, but at some point, it just comes off as arrogance. Like, I'm sure Rosen and Kaiser would love to agree with just that level of confidence. But with all seriousness, he's either going to fail horribly, he's going to be the savior that Tennessee desperately needs. Because it's no shock. They need a quarterback bad. Like, trusting Mailboy for another season is asking for your team to get ass pounded weekly. I ain't saying Levis' career is over, but he's not the guy for Tennessee, and it shows. He's had small flashes, but he's also had more memes than the Titans do wins. So, like, fuck that, give him another chance. And God forbid they have to rely on another half of the season with Mason Rudolph, the red-nosed retard. Look, he's a serviceable backup. But like Gardner Minshew, if you look at him and say, future, let's start him, you deserve to lose. If you want to kickstart your franchise back to a winning slate, you have to get the quarterback. And while this draft is weak for that position, with Cam probably being QB5 in last year's class, he still isn't a bad choice. He's got a solid frame, amazing arm strength that can make just about any throw, great pocket presence, can recognize coverages, and can be a very creative player with his off-script playmaking ability. He's a jaw dropper for either the good reason or the bad reason. He can be quite a concern if his O-line isn't great, like how it was in Miami being ranked amongst the top 10 in the country. Only time will tell this pick, but I think it should age well if they surround him with a great team. I really can't see them going anyone else besides maybe like Abdul Carter, but again, they need a quarterback bad. They're desperate. I really can't see them going anything else, so unless they trade out, Cam Ward is a Tennessee Titan. The second overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Abdul Carter. See, if the Titans didn't need a quarterback so damn desperately, I would have Abdul being the overall #1 pick. For any team, I think honestly Carter should highlight this draft class as the #1 overall. Everything about him screams superstar. This guy is going to be a monster on the field, even being dubbed Parsons 2.0. And with the Browns losing Myles Garrett, it just makes perfect sense. And it's the best way to handle the trade. Lose Garrett, but bring in Carter, it's just filling a much-needed hole. I'd say Hunter, but what good does a corner or wide receiver do? I mean, unless Travis Hunter can pull some shit out of his ass and play defensive end too, then it's utterly useless. Same thing with getting Sanders at this spot. I don't think Sanders is even worthy of being picked top 3. It's just, teams are desperate, they need a quarterback. I mean, if teams were not desperate, I'm telling you, neither would touch the top 5. When Abdul Carter's on the clock, you don't choose anyone else, especially when it's a giant need. As I said, they're losing Garrett. I think there's going to be a lot of great quarterbacks coming out next year, so it's a chance I would have to tank again for someone like Sellers. Drew Aller, I would take my chances there, or draft a quarterback in the later rounds like Dart, McCord, Gabriel, or even Will Howard. They would have plenty of chances there, but I think here really you have no greater choice than Carter. If you want to hear my opinion on Abdul Carter, then please check out my edge rusher video, and if you have seen it, you know why I'm high on him. So just to keep things short, not to sound like a D1 Glazer, if I'm the Cleveland Browns, I am selecting Abdul Carter here with the 2nd overall pick. And with the 3rd overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Shedeur Sanders. This makes sense if anything. Again, if this were last year's draft, him and Ward would fall behind someone like Penix or McCarthy. But in this draft, he's considered one of the better quarterbacks he will have to offer. And it so happens, next to the Titans, the Giants are in QB hell. They are in need of a quarterback desperately. And unless your move is Matthew Stafford or Sam Darnold, I really cannot see where else you go with. I mean, with Malik Neighbors already showcasing he could be a top 10 wide receiver in the league, like, let's be real, Sanders is their best option. I mean, if you want to put asses in seats, they're one of the most watched teams in the league, but if you want to just bring more hype to this team, Sanders will give you that. Sanders brings hype, the energy, and is still pretty talented regardless what people will tell you. He was playing behind one of the worst college O-lines last year and was still pretty damn accurate. I think he's got a chance of being great. I don't think he could be elite, but I think Giants fans should look forward to this one. He's going to be a very fun player to watch, and at least it beats watching Danny Dimes, because that guy was a giant shit show on wheels. Like, I'm just saying, you've seen this team at its lowest. Like, you've seen it with absolutely some of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen. Can it really get any worse? Like, that's why I really think they take Sanders right here with the 3rd overall pick. With the 4th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select Travis Hunter. Do I really have to explain this one? Do I really have to? Like, I've made multiple videos on Hunter, so to keep it short again, if the top 3 didn't have 2 teams in need of a quarterback so damn bad, Hunter would highlight the top 2 with Carter. Easily. He's easily the best player here. I mean, being great on both sides of the field is a tough task to do, and he does this with ease. I don't know how he's going to do it in the NFL, but as a two-way, depending which side of the field you put him like as a wide receiver, he's going to ball out. As we've seen, there's not a catch Hunter can't make. If he's focused primarily on being a receiver, he's going to be a top 10 wide receiver in no time, which has to be a great thing for Drake May, because I'm sure you want to get your franchise quarterback a star wide receiver. And even if you put him as a corner, he's going to be a lockdown player. While not the best corner in this class, he still is amazing. So for the Patriots, it's a win-win. Like, you don't lose with this pick. I mean, if he's able to do both, then it's probably the best pick here, because you knock out 2 needed positions at once. Any team will be dumb to not take Travis Hunter, especially with him falling this low. Like, there's no doubt in my mind the Patriots would take him with the 4th overall pick. And with the 5th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Will Campbell. Look, I ain't a giant fan of the direction this team is going. I mean, especially with Liam Cohen. Duval, dumbass. I'm just saying, I don't expect him to do a ton. I really don't. I don't expect him to be a contending team. I don't expect him to even make the playoffs. But if you want to start somewhere, how about that fucking tackle? Like, again, not a Trevor Lawrence guy, but I can't blame everything on him. That O-line is horrendous. Ranking bottom 20 in the league, giving up 18 sacks and allowing a ton of pressure. Like, it's bound to affect your quarterback's performance when his O-line is standing like damn traffic cones. So if they don't address this in free agency, which they should, you have to go Campbell. Over 2,500 snaps, he's only given up 5 sacks, notably, even against top SEC talent. The dude is just an absolute unit with amazing strength, excellent hand placement, and possesses technique that has proven to stop some of the best edge rushers in college. He's someone who's going to give his all to protect his quarterback, and that is exactly what you want as a coach. If the pocket is clean, Lawrence will thrive. Hopefully. I'm not too much on his hype train anymore, but if you want to see what your quarterback is capable of, you get him a great O-line. Who knows what he could really be? Again, all I know is I'm taking Campbell with the 5th overall pick if I'm Jacksonville. The 6th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Will Johnson. Talk about a damn steal right here. Like, I'm just saying, the Raiders might know what they are doing when it comes to drafting guys. You had Bowers last draft, and now this year Johnson and this pick comes a reality. Johnson is easily one of the best corners this class has to offer, perhaps even the best. Like, every time I've seen him, he's just the true definition of lockdown. He's a player you try to avoid because not only does he know how to tackle a guy, but throwing correctly is picked off and he's most likely taking it to the house for 6. Johnson is just an absolute game changer and a huge upgrade for any defense to get their hands on. I've already seen a ton of comparisons with him to Patrick Surtain with a floor of even Denzel Ward, which is still pretty insane to think about because that just means he's bound to succeed. The play recognition, the timing on him, the dude watches the ball like a hawk. I'm just saying, things like this make him such a great defender. You really cannot go wrong here, especially if you're the Raiders. Like, I get, they have other needs. I completely understand. Number 6 is a great spot to go. You can get just about anybody. But by all means, you do not draft Jackson Dart this high. No way in hell does Dart go this high. I'm high on Dart. I really like Dart. But unless Ward or Sanders fall to your lap, it's still too risky to take. And same thing with the O-line. There's going to be plenty of guys later in the draft because of how stacked it is, or at least they can address it in free agency. But there's only one player like Will Johnson. So if I'm the Raiders, I'm taking this pick and celebrating because we just got our hands on another elite playmaker back-to-back years. And with the 7th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select God, because that's what this team needs if they want any chance to recover from the life-size headache that is Aaron Rodgers. Alright, jokes aside, but they're really in a weird position. They're in a position where I really don't even feel like I can actually make a valid pick. Like, their fans will even tell you, they suck and won't win, so it doesn't matter. But if I'm the Jets, I'm thinking for the future. And right now, while the defense is solid, it can be much better in a much-needed position in defensive line. That will be filled by Mason Graham. A pure game record, putting this guy on the opposite of Quinnen Williams is unstoppable. I mean, hell, he's already to stop anyways. I mean, he shreds through double teams like it's nothing with a very high motor that just never stops running. Graham has one objective, and that's to disrupt the backfield. Whether it be the pressure he applies or him chasing you down, he's an absolute cannot miss player. He's going to be an every down guy, someone who's going to boost that defense to the next level. And that's why I'm taking him here if I'm the Jets. And with the 8th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Mike Green. Alright, this one is a reach that probably could be the first shock of the night. Like, I know there's other positions they can fill, like wide receiver and defensive line, but with edge rusher also being one of those you have to go with. You have to go with Mike Green. You really just have to. Like, I sat here going back and forth between him and Pierce Jr. because I really love both of their games. If you saw my edge rushing videos, you know exactly what I think on both guys. And I really think you can't go wrong with either here. But lately, the more and more I watch Mike Green, the more he's growing on me. And I think he's a player teams will regret passing on if he goes later in the draft. For starters, the dude is a freak athlete. Like, he is a freak, with just a large potential through the damn roof I'm talking. Like, he's an explosive playmaker with killer speed who is going to attack and just have linemen on their heels for 4 quarters straight. He packs damn near every move in his arsenal. I mean, he's hard to stop. He can line up just about anywhere and he's still going to do the same amount of damage. Sure, his competition was weak playing in the Sun Belt Conference, but I really don't think it matters. As dominant as he's been, I guarantee you, if he was playing for a team like Georgia, Ohio State, even Texas, he'd be a top 5 draft pick, no doubt. If you still have no clue on who he is, do yourself a favor and watch his highlights. He will have you going, holy shit, in no time. I'm just saying, if the Panthers want to boost their defense, you start here. Sign T. Higgins if it's even possible, or draft a wide receiver like Jack Beck or Royals. I mean, there's a lot of great guys going in the draft. This class is stacked for wide receivers. You don't need to pull the trigger on one in the first round. But if Mike Green falls in your lap, or even Pierce, I don't mind either. I like both guys. I just believe Green is the better rusher and presents a more violent attack. But then again, it's all personal preference. Thank God I'm not a scout, because if I was, I probably would get somebody fired. Overall, I have the Carolina Panthers taking Mike Green with the 8th overall pick. And with the 9th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select T-Mac. I can't pronounce the first name, so I'm just going to call him T-Mac. McMillan, you know what I'm trying to say. Short and simple, yes, but they need help badly. Like, they need help badly everywhere. And when I say there are no weapons, I ain't joking. I looked at the core and I said, who the fuck are these guys? Besides Olave, and that's even when he's playing. He's like the character from SpongeBob whose bones are just made of glass. Every time he takes a step on the field, he just finds a way to get completely broken in half. You clearly need a wide receiver one, and with free agency lacking a true young receiver with Higgins probably most likely being tagged or at least being stolen by another franchise, I think this is the perfect way to go about it. I even have a video talking about McMillan and the others. But to keep it short, he's a clone of Mike Evans with the floor Drake London. I see nothing but great things with him, so if you want to trust Rattler, I suggest at least getting him a young weapon he can grow with, and McMillan is the perfect choice. And with the 10th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Kelvin Banks Jr. I see a lot of people, I mean a lot of people begging for Jeanty with this pick, which while I say fantastic move for the offense, I feel people forget. No matter what weapons you have, if you don't have a great O-line, you're going to play like dog shit. And mainly with the Ben Johnson hiring too, they think they could do what he did with Gibbs, how he could do with Jeanty. Compare the O-lines, like please, compare the O-lines of Detroit and Chicago and tell me why it worked. This Bears O-line is atrocious, so with the 10th pick, you can't go wrong with Banks Jr., someone who's played top competition beating in the SEC, allowing only 4 sacks throughout 3 years. If you want Caleb to succeed, go O-line no matter what. The saying I love to use for this is, you don't get cool looking swords if you don't have a shield. You need protection. I'm just saying, I think Caleb Williams getting sacked as many times as he did speaks for itself. The Bears select O-line here, Kelvin Banks Jr. with the 10th overall pick. With the 11th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select James Pierce Jr. I'm just saying, if the Eagles taught anyone anything, it's that a loaded defense opening a can of whoop ass on the best team wins championships. And with the edge being in position, the Niners need to help upgrade the pass rush. It's the perfect pairing, especially with the rumors about Floyd getting cut in the offseason. Pierce will make the perfect second option next to Bosa. Yes, he's going to need development, but overall his size, reach, paired with speed and his explosive first step overall just make him a force to reckon with, which most teams tend to either already ignore whatever side of the ball he's on or just double team the hell out of him. In college, he was consistently causing panic in the backfield, and while being lightweight, I think if he can even replicate a fraction of what he did at Tennessee over in San Francisco, he'd be a star in no time. Especially with the Robert Saleh hiring, I think with him now controlling the defense, he'll make Pierce a living nightmare for quarterbacks to face and bring the Niners back to dominance on the defensive side. This is definitely one of the easier picks to make. I think if he falls this low due to the character problems according to some sources, which I don't really think matters, but either way, I got the Niners taking an edge rusher with the 11th overall pick. With the 12th overall pick, the Dallas Cowboys select, god damn it, I can't believe I'm saying this, Ashton Jeanty. There. Are you happy, Cowboys fans? There. For fuck's sakes, this one was inevitable. Like, it was no secret. Cowboys wanted this to happen. They're lucky every team before them doesn't need a running back, although it'd be pretty hilarious if someone steals Jeanty away from them. If you saw my running back video, you know exactly what I'm going to say about Jeanty, and you know exactly how I feel about him. So to keep things short, because he's another player I could talk about for a very long time, I think he's going to be one of the best players from this draft. Everything about him is something to love. On top of that, he has a pro comp of Evan Smith and fucking Derrick Henry. That should tell you enough. Like, the stats are there. The footage speaks for itself. He's easily going to put up numbers behind the Cowboys O-line and will definitely help Dak in the offensive life a lot easier. Someone just to hand it off to. Someone who you know is going to just push it down the field no matter what. I think it makes everyone's life easier knowing now they have a real franchise running back since Elliott's last good year, which was 2021. I really like this pick. I just hate how obvious it was to everyone. I hate obvious picks, and I really just hate how everyone, even like after the season ended, they knew Ashton and Jeanty was going to be a Cowboy. And with the 13th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Josh Simmons. For the love of all things holy, get this man to some damn protection. Make him wear a condom even if you have to, like just any type of protection he needs, make him wear it. The dude is already refusing to wear a guardian cap on top of 4 fucking career concussions. I mean, you seriously have to invest in the O-line at this point, unless you want him dead on the field. Like, I wish I was able to joke about this as much as I wanted, but it's true. If you want to keep your quarterback on his legs and have him perform to his best, you have to protect him with your life, and adding Simmons to the O-line is the perfect move here. Being 6'5" and an absolute athletic unit of power, he's a versatile lineman playing both the left and right tackle very effectively, only allowing 4 sacks in 2022 when he was at San Diego State. 1 sack in 23 with 825 snaps under his belt at Ohio State, and 0 sacks so far allowed this season before getting injured against Oregon. He showcases amazing awareness and movement, being able to match the rusher and beat them to the spot without giving them any ground. This is exactly what the Dolphins need. Someone who can demonstrate power and not allow anything to get past them. I think Josh or Armin will really go well here. I mean, I just really like Simmons a lot more, but as long as Tua's protected, I could care less who they take. I just hope they beef up that O-line because for God's sakes, Tua is 1 hit away from forgetting how to spell his own name. Like, if the Dolphins are smart, they improve the O-line here by choosing Simmons with the 13th overall pick. With the 14th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts select Tyler Warren. Gonna keep it a buck with you, I couldn't even name who the starting tight end for the Colts was. Like, before making this video, it's some fucking dude named Granton. Like, I don't know. If I was held at gunpoint and I had to remember this guy's name, I'm pretty much dead. And with plenty of defensive players, this draft being so stacked as it is, you have multiple chances throughout all the rounds to fill it if they don't during the free agency. So if I'm the Colts, I'm using this pick to get a complete powerhouse tight end in Tyler Warren. The Raiders did it last year and look exactly how that turned out. I ain't saying he's a Bowers, but look how much he contributed to that offense. I'm sure the Colts will love something like that, and with Warren, you get an athletic freak who will easily benefit the offense day one with things like his versatility, being able to align from anywhere, having multiple games where he scored touchdowns off a wildcat, or even if you need him to throw one, he could do that too. All while being a very reliable asset, as seen in most Penn State games. He could always be relied on to make a catch, whether it's one-handed or a body catch, he's gonna come down with the ball, averaging about 4 to 5 receptions a game, with his highest being 17 in overtime victory. I'm just saying, I've seen him do things I don't think a lot of tight ends in the league could do now. I think his game will be something Colts fans will love. I was hoping he would fall later down the draft, but I think with his name rising and being a multi-role tight end who could do everything from rushing to blocking, Warren is gonna go up in value. So if he falls into the lap, I have no doubt they'll pull the trigger and get Anthony Richardson another weapon with the 14th overall pick. And with the 15th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Jalen Walker. I'm gonna really get called crazy here, but again, I feel Mykel Williams is only getting considered because of what his potential can be, and not what he is right now. I even said it in my edge rushers video. I like Walker much more as a pass rusher, as he seems more versatile, being able to blitz as an off-ball linebacker or playing the edge position. It doesn't matter where he aligns. As soon as the ball is snapped, he's gonna jump off the line and create pressure, either leading to a hurry or a tackle for loss. His best game this year to me, would, just like others, would probably be the 3-sack performance he had against Texas. I think a pass rusher is exactly what Atlanta needs, with them potentially losing Judon and Carter. They can really use Walker to upgrade the supporting cast they have on the defense. I think him or Mykel makes sense here, but again, for me, I really like Jalen's game. I can go on more about him, but trying to keep things short, all I can say is I really think he's an underrated option who's going to be a big playmaker in the league eventually. I mean, it's a position they need, and you really cannot go wrong using the 15th overall pick on a dog that is Jalen Walker. And with the 16th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Kenneth Grant. Look, a lot of needs here for the Cardinals. Like, I mean, a lot. I feel there's plenty they can go with this pick, but I feel the defense should be the main priority here, with their defense ranking bottom 20 in rushing defense, allowing 126 rushing yards a game. On top of that, with 220 passing yards per game. Like, look, they don't got bad pieces, but it's barely above average, and they really need a lot of help. So a great place to start would definitely be adding towards the defensive line, and hoping Kenneth Grant can become their guy, because I think there's a lot of signs that point to he has the potential to be their guy. For starters, not only is he from Michigan, that's already a great thing. Michigan is known for producing great defenders. With a frame of 6'4", 330 pounds, it already makes Grant quite a powerful run defender who could clog up the middle. His ability to disrupt plays in the trenches would also help Arizona's defense against both the run and pass. He's a player who's going to make an immediate impact with a high ceiling for the future. If the Cardinals really want to start rebuilding that defensive line, you cannot go wrong taking a defensive lineman with Kenneth Grant. Being also he is one of the better players for the position. That's why if I'm the Arizona Cardinals and I want to fix this struggling defense, where I would start would be the defensive line. That's why I would take Kenneth Grant with the 16th pick. And with the 17th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Mykel Williams. Okay, so this pick is only going based on the news about Trey Hendrickson, the rumors, the trade. Look, Henderson is the only good that comes from this defense. This is the same defense that failed Burrow horribly during the season. Like, look, he had an MVP season and it went unnoticed. Why? Because this defense completely fucked it all over. Like, the offense is perfect. If they're able to attack Higgins, pay Chase, but by letting go of Henderson, this defense is kind of fucked. He's the only one who really did anything. So for his replacement, I have them selecting Mykel Williams, who is still relatively a great edge rusher with all the tools you want in a future franchise player. I just think for him, as I mentioned before in my edge rushing video, it's boom or bust with him. It's really just boom or bust. I don't see an in-between. And for the Bengals, I think it's honestly worth the risk. Hendrickson is going to be 30 to start next season. And for as dominant as he is, Williams is only going to be 21 to start his rookie season. And if he can reach the ceiling people are projecting him to be at, then the Bengals get themselves a defensive X factor on their hands, and this pick will be considered one of the largest steals in the entire draft. And at worst, they get a solid number 2. Like, his hype just reminds me a lot of Travion Walker or even Miles Murphy, which Bengals fans know plenty about. Like, he's one hell of an athlete. I'm not going to take that away from him. The guy is a freak of nature. He is talented. He's got the great abilities. It's just he didn't have enough production to convince me he's going to be elite. But at the 17th pick, I think it's the right spot. Again, I'm going to based off if they don't re-sign Hendrickson, which is looking more true and true every week we are heading into the offseason. I believe if he actually falls as low and not just me making a horrible mock draft, especially to a team like Cincinnati, hyped up or not, it's a position they need, and he's definitely still better than any other edge rusher on the board. They got a lot of positions to upgrade, and they really want to get back to being contenders without having to score 40 plus just to secure a win or to stay in the game. I think that's the perfect way to start their draft weekend. And with the 18th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Tyler Booker. First things first, Roll Tide. Secondly, it's no secret the O-line for the Seahawks is utter shit, and people really want to blame Geno for it. Like, look, I don't think he's a great quarterback. I don't think he's an elite quarterback. I think he just falls somewhere in between, but clearly they don't see. He is pretty solid for working what he's been given with. Like, I don't think they'll win anything under him, but he's still putting up solid numbers, and adding Tyler Booker to replace Laken Tomlinson at the left guard position should give them a fresh start. Booker is easily one of the best pass protectors here in the draft, and the grades will back him up. He's a consistent stonewalling its most power rushers, packing 34-inch arms, which is a giant advantage in this game, allowing him to take control of defenders before they can even make contact with his chest. Barely in making any slips and only having 2 sacks given him in 2023. Another thing would have to be his versatility, as he has the ability to play multiple positions at a high level, mainly guard, but can line up as a tackle if needed. His impressive blocking skills for both the run and pass game, shining a lot more usually on his pass protection skills, just makes him a valuable asset that can boost the Seahawks line and improve the offense. I think they can go for a lot of things with this pick, but to me, I feel like they should just help the line, especially the guard position. And since they hate overspending on that position to begin with, it just makes sense they draft one here or in the later rounds. I just think you're not going to find someone like Tyler Booker in the later rounds, so you know what, might as well waste the pick here. That's why I have them drafting Tyler Booker with the 18th pick. With the 19th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Jahdae Barron. Easily the cornerback 3 of this draft. I think behind Johnson and Hunter, you have Barron, who is the definition of a human seatbelt. Someone who puts asses just on the ground, usually consistently. Someone who was a large helping hand on the defense last season, with Texas being an absolute ball hawk. Whether he was picking off the ball or making a big stop at seen in multiple games. A few of my favorites where he stood out would have to be against Arkansas, where he was able to get a sack hilariously enough. Georgia, where he picked off Carson Beck twice. Fuck Carson Beck, by the way. And then getting another pick later in their meeting again. While not being a slot corner, but occasionally a nickelback, he is still a pretty dominant player. A lot of teams would just love to have him in their defensive scheme. And with the Bucs needing more talent on the defensive side, ranking 18th for total passing yards allowed, while their cornerback room is solid, they can definitely use another young playmaker like Barron, who's going to be 23 at the start of his rookie season. I think they can definitely upgrade on the corner position by taking Barron with the 19th pick overall. And with the 20th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select Colson Loveland. So the Broncos finally got their hands on a franchise quarterback with Nix looking to be the real deal. It's about time they get the man some weapons. Like, the wide receiver room is great. Sutton and Nix are going to be a great combo for years to come. Mims is an amazing second option, and Troy Franklin is still at work in progress, but I think he could turn out just fine. But I think it's about time we finally get Bo Nix an actual playmaking tight end, because the tight end room is pathetic. Like, seriously, I'm not making this up. All 3 tight ends on this depth chart had nearly 400 yards combined. This is kind of pathetic. I think with Loveland, that should clear up the problem. Like, he's easily the second best tight end here on the board. Some will even say he plays a position like an oversized receiver, being 6'5" and 250 pounds. There's a lot of things to love about Loveland. For one, the dude is just an absolute athlete. And he's got a set of very reliable hands with his massive catch radius, using his frame to his advantage. He's able to read coverages and find the soft spots to always be an open target, which is something Nix could use. His blocking could definitely use some work. I think that's definitely his biggest struggle. But aside from that, he could be quite an explosive threat down the field, as seen versus Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, even Alabama. I believe the Broncos are going to go tight end. At least they're going to go tight end somewhere in the draft, so you know what? You might as well go here with Loveland. If Warren isn't on the board, I know they can definitely go other ways with this pick, but I think if you want to continue to love the offense, give Nix more options when it comes to scoring and getting down the field, you take Colson. With the 21st pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Luther Burden III. Look, the Steelers to me are going to be a very interesting team come the offseason. I don't even know who the quarterback will be. I don't know if they're keeping Russ. They fucking said, fuck you to Fields. I mean, all I know is they need a second option lineup with Pickens. Regardless who the quarterback is going to be, there needs to be a much better offensive loadout than Van Jefferson, and it goes to Mike Williams. Like, you got to get yourself a younger option to accompany Pickens. And what better than snagging a talented wide receiver is already used to wearing black and yellow already. If you see my draft video, you know how I feel about Burden. If you haven't, I recommend please go watching it. I think any team to pick him up is getting a playmaker who could be a dangerous yards after catch receiver who could really just run about any route, whether it's short, intermediate, or even deep. Primarily being a slot receiver of Missouri, I think his play style will complement this team perfectly. I just really hope they get a quarterback. Like, I really am curious on who they're going to have thrown to these guys. I really hope it's someone good, because this is talent. I'm telling you, like, when you have Burden, you're going to have Pickens lining up. Any quarterback would just love to have that right there. I don't know who it's going to be, but whoever it is, it's going to have a loaded wide receiver duo. I just think if they do need a wide receiver, you go here, because it really can't get any better than Luther Burden. With the 22nd pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Shedeur Sanders. Chargers are going to have a field day filling the holes that are just going to be needed on this defense. For starters, Joey Bosa likely to be cut, Khalil Mack leaving. They could really use an edge rusher with a lot of size and a high potential. Now, while Stewart may be a work in progress as a playmaker, he can still be quite a nightmare for starters to face. He's 6'6", 290 pounds. He has bend, agility, and flexibility. That is very rare for a guy his size. On top of that, he's an absolute unit of power when attacking and being able to collapse pockets and get to the quarterback on a consistent level. Stats might tell you he played poor, and it shows you he might not do much, but if you see the tape, it just shows the dominant rusher he can be. He possesses rare traits and brilliance in things like his IQ and self-adjustments during the game that just scream future all-pro. I think under the right system, he can definitely be a star, and definitely falling with the Chargers would not be a bad idea. Like, I think they can definitely turn Stewart into a powerful 3-down defender in no time. I don't think he's going to be anything big his first year. I think definitely it's going to take some time for Stewart to actually evolve to the potential people have him at, but I really think the potential is there, and I do think he can be quite a menace. I just really believe the Chargers are going to have to address the edge position need, and I really do think Shedeur Sanders is going to fill this hole. And with the 23rd pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Benjamin Morrison. So with the rumors about Jair Alexander being traded, which sucks, by the way, I love that dude. That's going to fucking suck to see. I really have them replacing Alexander with Benjamin Morrison. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. They're going to need the corner position, and especially with trade rumors, I definitely think they're going to address it in the first round. And what better than Benjamin Morrison, star defender for Notre Dame? It definitely sucks seeing him get a hip injury, because I'm telling you, I would have loved to see this dude in the playoffs. He's an absolute lockdown corner. Like, I'm saying, I love Morrison's game, and I really cannot wait to see what he does with the Packers. I think it's a self-explanatory pick. Benjamin Morrison is top 5 for the position in the class. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. So that's why I have the Packers taking Morrison with the 23rd pick overall. And with the 24th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Omarion Hampton. Talk about a damn pick right here. This right here is going to be a shock of the night. Well, not really, but you it's like, damn, talk about like a pick right here. So with Cam Akers and Aaron Jones hitting free agency, most likely not coming back, I definitely think it's a position they're gonna need. I mean, for a team that seems to be pretty complete with elite players on both sides of the field, something they could really use is a franchise running back whose rushing ability can just make the offense more dangerous than it already is. Aaron Jones was able to get 1,200 rushing yards at the age of 30. I'm convinced this is a dream spot for most running backs in the draft. And following Jeanty, I believe Hampton's the second best the class has to offer. Not only is he a red zone menace, but if he finds a hole anywhere in the line, he's going to explode right through it. And when he's on the run, he's a very tough player to bring down, rarely falling to arm tackles. On top of that, he's also a great receiving back, always being relied on when the quarterback needs a quick way to get the ball out. I talked about him in my running back draft video, but to keep things short, he's going to be a game changer wherever he goes. And adding into this loaded Vikings offense is a strategic move because we've seen that they can score through the air with no issue. It's just when you compare him to other team rivals like the Lions, the Packers, both have star running backs that can easily take a game over, as seen when the Lions played the Vikings and Gibbs had 3 touchdowns. So I think adding Hampton to try and beat their franchise guy is a move they really cannot go wrong with if they want to stay competitive and continue to dominate the NFC. That's why I think here at the 24th pick, I think they're going to pick a running back. Maybe if it's not Hampton, maybe it's Scatterbo or Chuckins. I don't know. I just think they're definitely going to go running back. So in my opinion, I have them going Amarion Hampton with the 24th pick. And with the 25th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Emeka Egbuka. This one is pretty self-explanatory for 2 reasons. One, they need a wide receiver too badly. I mean, besides Collins, I ain't confident with that core, especially if they don't re-sign Diggs, and with Tank Dell probably not returning till 26, they need a second option who can always be relied on if Collins isn't open down the field. And the second reason, reuniting Egbuka with Stroud is a genius move. This combo was killing already for the Buckeyes. Imagine what they would do for the Texans. And for an offense that struggled a lot this year when it came to scoring, especially during the second half, Egbuka could definitely fix this by providing his ability to be a red zone threat. This is a move they really cannot pass up. I mean, if you want to make this Texans offense more lethal than it can while Stroud's still in a rookie contract and you're not going to pay a big top wide receiver to come play over here, you draft Egbuka here with the 25th pick. And with the 26th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Matthew Golden. So with the Rams moving in a new direction as far as offense-wise, with Stafford trade rumors, cutting Cooper Kupp, and possibly even a new tight end, they could really fill the role that was Cooper Kupp with Matthew Golden, who can easily be a dominant pass catcher next to Puka. I didn't mention Golden in my wide receiver video because I had no clue he was going to enter the draft this early and will stay at Texas for another year, just especially since he just transferred there. I think he's a very talented receiver who's putting up great numbers at the University of Houston and then over at Texas. So I have no doubt in my mind he's going to do great things with the Rams. He's under a great system that is known for using their guys very well. All he has to do is just show up. I don't know who his quarterback is going to be if Stafford is not the guy, but all I know is I can just trust Sean McVay, and I know he's going to do great things with Matthew Golden. With the 27th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Malachi Starks, the best safety in this class. I mean, do I really need to say any other words? I mean, everything about him is something to love. The speed, the size of this guy, the IQ. He's a versatile safety. I mean, he has the playmaking ability. He has the athleticism. He has everything you want. He has amazing awareness, and he's a much needed position for a Ravens defense that does need help on their secondary. I think definitely he does add strength there. I mean, adding Starks is just giving him a young playmaker who's going to make an immediate impact, and especially with his aggressive physical play style that fits so well under the Ravens. Like, the defensive coordinator is going to have a field day working with him on the defensive scheme. I think this is a brilliant pick. I think they need a safety, and what better way to address it than Malachi Starks? With the 20th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Nick Scordon. Really not a lot to say here. I think finally adding a pair, someone who could pair perfectly with Hutchinson, would be a brilliant move. What better than Nick Scordon, a 20-year-old edge rusher who is 6'4" and damn near 280 pounds. Having him develop under a Lions system is just going to turn this man into a straight killer. I don't know if they're going to re-sign Zadarius Smith. I think the dude's like 30 years old. I don't think so. And I don't think they're going to trade for him. I don't think they're going to pay for a high-end pass rusher. Like I said, the Lions don't need a lot. They're a very stacked defense already. They really cannot go wrong with a young edge rusher with a lot of upside in him. I'm telling you, if this works out, the league is fucked. Like, do not let the Lions get 2 great dominant edge rushers. Like, I'm telling you, that's going to be a mistake the entire league is going to make. With the 29th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders select Josh Connerly Jr. Look, some picks I have to explain, some I don't. This is one of those where I really don't have to. I mean, Jaden Daniels is perhaps the greatest rookie quarterback to ever play. You want to protect it as much as possible. You don't want to see a CJ Stroud type slump here. You know, the guy went from this generational, the savior of Houston, to just having a down year. You do not want that in Jaden Daniels. You want to keep the man as safe and as injury-free as possible. So why not invest in an O-line? That's why you take Connerly here with the 29th pick. And with the 30th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Siobhan Revel Jr. With Rasul Douglas being a free agent after a struggling season, it is clear the Bills need a star cornerback. I was expecting them to take one last year in the first round, preferably Cooper DeJean like most mock drafts had it being, which is a damn shame seeing the stars being over at Philadelphia. So hopefully they don't make the same mistake this year's draft. A reason Revel's name has fallen so low is due to his ACL injury, where before he was a top 15 prospect to start the season, like he's got the perfect combination of size being 6'3", the speed running a 4.4 where it shows a lot when he's running side by side with the receiver down the field. Something else teams are really going to love is his quickness and the ability to track the ball. So if they sign someone in the market and draft Revel here, they immediately fix the depth the Bills need filled. It's the 30th pick, so they can really go a lot of ways with this, but with corner being a top need and with Benjamin and Barron out the picture, I really cannot see him going anyone else as far as the corner position. Still a very solid pickup in Siobhan Revel. With the 31st pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Donovan Jackson. I'm just saying, we need so much help on the offensive line, it's not even crazy. So, Juwan Taylor was a bust. I don't like Juwan Taylor. I will tell you the truth, I never liked Juwan Taylor. I always fucking hated him. I never wanted him back, and I just really hate just the way he's been doing it. He causes so many problems. He brings so many flags. I don't even like the way he plays the position. So I really want us to draft an offensive tackle. And what better than Donovan Jackson? Jackson is known for being a strong blocker, particularly in pass protection and run block. And his size, athleticism, and technique make him a promising prospect to contribute immediately to the offense. Like, we just need someone to keep Mahomes safe, because I'm telling you, that Super Bowl, just having him run for his life, it just shows, damn, this line is not good enough and we really need to continue improving it. With his ability to anchor the line and provide stability, I'm telling you, Jackson can play a key role in ensuring that Mahomes is safe and isn't running for his life damn near every snap. Like, the moment I knew we needed another tackle was when I saw Joe Thuney, a guard, lining up to play tackle. That's why I knew, oh fuck, we need another left tackle. We need to strengthen the offensive line as much as we can, and with Donovan Jackson, I'm telling you, we should have no problem doing so. I have a feeling the Chiefs could go many ways with this pick. I really want us to go defensive tackle. I really want us to get as much protection as possible, because I'm telling you, that's how you win games, a clean O-line. If you have Mahomes running for his life, you ain't gonna win a damn thing. And for the 32nd pick in a 2025 NFL Draft, to end the first round, we had the Philadelphia Eagles selecting Jahad Campbell. I think they take Campbell for multiple reasons. One, to strengthen their defense with a versatile, high-energy playmaker that is Jahad Campbell. He's known for his sideline-to-sideline range, strong tackling ability, and just coverage skills in general, making him a perfect fit for the Eagles' aggressive defensive system. His athleticism, football IQ just allow him to excel in both pass coverage and stopping the run, providing valuable depth at the linebacker position. Adding Campbell would give the Eagles a dynamic defensive asset who can make an immediate impact and help keep their defense at a high level. So with Campbell, they probably get one of the best linebackers the draft has to offer. And that will do it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you stayed till the end. Like, I really do appreciate you. That was my take on the mock draft, honestly. I'm probably going to make a few more as the offseason continues, especially after the combine. I know it has started. I'm probably late. I'm, like, definitely uploading this on a Friday. But, you know, I'm going to try my best to get another one out pretty soon. Let me know down below in the comments if you enjoyed this mock draft. If you didn't and you want to tell me what pick you would have took at this pick, you know, let me know what you would do. Anyways, I will see you all in the next random recap.